Tony talks about it like burning the boats. I think buying your ticket to Funnel Hacking Live is lighting that torch to start burning the boats, because once you get to Funnel Hacking Live, Russell and Todd are going to convince you to burn that boat.
He's been at every major Russell Brunson event for nearly a decade, and you've probably never even heard his name. Today, Myles Clifford steps out from behind the curtain and explains exactly what he engineers into a room to make sure people walk out different than they walked in.
The second they saw that you were from ClickFunnels or whatever, it's like, when you guys bring back Funnel Hacking Live? Like, we all heard that enough where it's like, there's a void in this industry that is missing, and that's Funnel Hacking Live.
He took a pay cut to join ClickFunnels and spent his first months restocking the fridge and taking out the trash. Today, he runs every live event Russell Brunson puts on.
So I was figuring all this stuff on the back end with Grant's team. I remember they had a meeting about the actual event. Russell was asking questions and no one could answer the questions. And so then they called me in and I was able to answer every single question. And he's like, oh, okay, well, when do you land? I was like, oh, I'm actually not going to Vegas.
Myles, welcome to ClickFunnels Radio.
Welcome back to another episode of ClickFunnels Radio. My name is Chris Cameron. Joined with me is the amazing Dante Torelli. What's up, man?
I'm living the dream, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, today's episode, as you guys just heard, is amazing. This guy has been behind the scenes. Like, a lot of you know his name, right? Like, he used to run partnerships. He's pretty much become like the Swiss Army knife, right? But for ClickFunnels and Russell Brunson and everything else. But he is the secret to the success of like all of our big events, small events, everything in between. So welcome Myles Clifford to the show. Myles, what's up, man?
What's up, Chris and Dante? Thanks for having me on here. And you referenced like the kind of Swiss Army knife, but I kind of make the joke like I'm a rusty Swiss Army knife, like can do a lot of things, but not really well, but just enough to get the job done. So,
dude, you're one of the most like humble, like, but talented people. Like, you like self-depreciate like no other, because you're actually really, really funny. Tell us though, real quick, you've got a certificate in your office, okay, that allows you to basically say anything that you want. What's the deal with that?
Yeah. So we used to do morning meetings every day. They were short, like 10-minute meetings. And, I have a problem with just, like you said, saying whatever I want or what comes to my mind. And I like banter and those types of things and self-deprecation. But someone was like, man, like Myles has jester's privilege. Like, he does, like, if anyone else said those things, they might get fired. They might get in trouble. And so it was actually Gregory Dakins from our team created a jester's privilege certificate. And it's like Myles can say, do whatever he wants and not face any ramifications. It's signed by Todd and Russell. And, obviously it's a joke, but I think when I hit my 9-year work anniversary here, they got me a whole jester's costume.
That's awesome.
So it's a fun time. Some of the things I say I probably shouldn't. We'll see on the podcast here in just a minute. Probably some of those things come out, but it's a good time. I like to have fun and, work hard, play harder.
One of the things I want to lead with is, dude, we did Funnel Hacking Live, and you have been at the forefront of this thing for pretty much the entire time. And then it went away. I want to know why on earth at this time did you, Russell, and I know you were a big push for this because I saw it, like you kind of put this whole thing together and put it in front of Russell and Todd. Why bring it back?
That's a really good question. I think, we were going to these events, whether they were affiliate events or other marketing events as sponsors or just to get out there and network. And I think it was fascinating. The second they saw that you were from ClickFunnels or whatever, it's like, when you guys bring back Funnel Hacking Live? Like, when is Funnel Hacking Live coming back? And our answer was, it's gone. It's done. And I think we all heard that enough where it's like, we need to bring Funnel Hacking Live back. Like, there's a void, like, or a hole, like, in this industry that is missing, and that's Funnel Hacking Live. And I think we'll kind of talk more about it, but it wasn't really us. Like, it was the demand of people every time we ran into them, wanting it back, asking when it was coming back, and kind of led. Russell had a few ideas. Myself, Clayton on our team had a few ideas, and I think we kind of crafted a Funnel Hacking Live that it's not the Funnel Hacking Live you've gone to in the past. I think it's better. Like, what Russell's doing with this is going to be a unique and different and super impactful experience. So we're stoked it's back. I think a lot of people are stoked it's back because tickets are selling and that theater's filling up fast.
Yeah, this venue though, right, is totally different. This is, you mentioned that. Before we had to get these big, huge ballrooms, we had to get all this other stuff, but this one's just a little bit different. Like, you picked a different space.
Yeah. So like you mentioned, we'd have to go get these ballrooms and we'd spend so much time and planning and money on just building out these, incredible stages. If you've seen any of the videos that we've put out, the after movies from Funnel Hacking Live, you can see that there's a lot of time and effort put into that stage and the design. And, but with that, I think last year, 2025, we spent $3.2 million just on AV alone.
Wow.
And so, when Russell and Todd said they wanted to bring back Funnel Hacking Live, we tried to find a different venue. And I think Dan, super creative, he's our video guy, and Russell were talking, they're like, man, this would be cool if we did like a gala in a theater. We started going out, we hit the road looking at different theaters and trying to find something that would work for Funnel Hacking Live. But if you guys don't know this, theaters really, they aren't being built very often anymore. So a lot of these theaters were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and lacked, still the AV requirements for a Russell Brunson.
Let's be honest, they're in shady parts of town.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but there was one in particular where, we came out and, I think we offended the lady that was showing it. We're like, are these homeless people? Are they here all the time? And she's like, well, they're unhoused, and they are. They're here all the time.
That's the politically correct way to say homeless, unhoused.
Yes, correct. So we're like, oh yeah. So do these unhoused stay here? She's like, yeah, there's actually the unhoused restrooms right there. We're like, yeah, probably not the theater for us, or for this event. And so, when we really got down to it, my wife and I had gone to a concert at this venue that we ended up selecting, and we had an absolute amazing time. There's not a bad seat in the house. It's comfortable seats. And it was just an incredible experience. So we kind of brought the idea to Russell and Todd and said, hey, what if we went to this venue? Like, it accomplishes the theater feel and aspect that you want. Also, it's already built out with all the AV in it. Like, they host concerts with Post Malone, like a Keith Urban. They do March Madness watch parties there. So everything was that we've spent so much money on building in a ballroom, it was already built in. And, I think when we showed them that and the cost savings there, they were all on board with that. And, I really think one thing for us as a team is like, we don't have to put as much time and effort into planning and designing and getting that done. Instead, we're focusing on the content. And, I feel like what Russell's been working on, just being able to focus on that, like, man, it's going to be a pretty impactful event. I remember at the end of Funnel Hacking Live 2025, he was just like, I don't know what's next. He's like, I know I want something like this, but I want something different. And I can tell you this event, Funnel Hacking Live in September, is going to be something like this, but it's also going to be completely different. And I think in all the best ways.
Give me a couple ways. Come on, I got to push you.
Well,
you can't just tease me like that. What's a couple ways that it's different? Because I hear the good seating, right? And good seating, that gets me excited because, like,
plus, you get to pick your seat.
As amazing as FHL was, it's also kind of a grind. It's like, from a patron side, a partaker in the event, you're going to grind. It's going to be multiple days, and you're going to be seated for many hours of those days. And you do as good as you can with seating, but it just gets uncomfortable. And now you got to be really intentional. So good seating just there alone is enough to get me excited. But what's some other ways that it's going to be different?
Well, that's a really good question. One is it's actually shorter than past Funnel Hacking Lives. Last year and all the years prior were 3.5 days or 4.5 days when you add on the day with Dan, if you were like a VIP.
Yep.
Right. This year is 2.5 days. When Russell and Todd continued to grow Funnel Hacking Live, we were kind of constrained to the venues we could go to. Like, when you get past 3,000 people and get to 4,000 or 5,000, there's only a few ballrooms in the United States of America that can hold that many people, theater style, and have an amazing stage. And so we were kind of limited on where we could go. I mean, if you've noticed, we've been Orlando, Nashville, Nashville,
Vegas,
San Diego, and then obviously Vegas. But by making this smaller and more intimate, we were able to, pick a different location. And with more intimate, I think there's going to be a lot more, we do surveys at the end, and people always love the event, and they wish that there was more time to network and build relationships and talk to people. And I think with it being smaller, like Russell keeps saying, hey, there's only 2,500 people attending this year. I just want to correct him, tell him it's wrong. It's only 1,940 people can fit in this theater.
Wow,
like that's even less than what Russell's talking about. That's the cap. Like, there's no more, no less. Like, once the seats sell out, and they will, like, there's nothing we can do. Like, there's assigned seating. You pick it on Ticketmaster, and that's where you sit. And
so you're telling me nobody's going to get trampled trying to get the front row?
Yeah, no one's getting trampled at the doors. Like,
oh, okay. So just in case anybody's listening, like, yeah, if you're new to our world, this thing, FHL, we used to have like a VIP and they could go in first and they didn't have to worry about any sort of bodily injury or any sort of mental harm that's going to come from this event over the years. But then after the VIPs, we just open the doors and it's like, go baby, go find your seat. And everybody's rushing to get as front as they can to get the best seats. But did you just say I get to go on Ticketmaster now and pick my spot?
You do. So you hop on Ticketmaster and you go select the seat or seats that you and your team or your family or whomever you want to bring. You select the seats. And, like you mentioned, we're kind of excited about that because we don't have to worry about people getting trampled.
Nobody ever got hurt though, right? Nobody ever really got hurt.
We just like to joke about it because it was a crazy rush. It was wild.
Yeah, sure. No one ever got hurt. Yeah, absolutely, guys. No,
well, I didn't know. Maybe you know something that never admitted. Okay, all right, keep going.
Yeah, we won't admit. We've taken care of them. They're all good now. But you do have the opportunity to network with a lot of people at this one. Like again, being smaller and more intimate, we're offering VIP couches down on the floor of the theater, which have already sold out. And so I'm just and plus. I don't want to like spill too much because Russell's still like announcing certain things, but the speaker lineup is going to be insane. And I think people are going to be excited about it. There's a lot more Russell and Todd time than we've had in the past. In past we've had 45 speakers for 3.5 days. We're going to probably be around that 20 speaker mark for 2.5 days. And we're going to hear from Russell and Todd a lot. And if you guys don't already know this, those two might be the smartest human beings.
It's wild,
when it comes to marketing and when it comes to software and to all that. So I think people are going to really love that.
Sorry, Dante, this one's kind of being tagged like as AI too a little bit more. And if you want to like talk about who should be talking about that, like Russell and Todd for sure. Go ahead, Dante. What are you saying?
Well, I'll piggyback off that, Chris, because it's like as AI has hit, as the marketplace and opportunity has shifted and changed a little bit, you watch all these people flock to YouTube and start their channels, and they're just trying to ride the wave, and God love them. A lot of them are trying really hard, but it's like, I don't want to hear from any of those guys. I want to hear from Todd and Russell, and the people that I want to hear from have really been so secretive over these past 2 years and so quiet on so many things I want to hear from. So like, yeah, for them to finally open up and do it together and to hear both of their sides, both of their brains and the things they're good at combined into one, and like, here's how to dominate the next 5 years. Whew, I'm fired up for that, Myles.
Yeah, plus Myles, I think that's one of the reasons too that this came back. You mentioned, the marketplace demanded it, right? Everybody after COVID was so like, we are coming back to like, there's been this pendulum swing where it's like, oh my gosh, everything's AI, right? Everybody's got an AI boyfriend or girlfriend or something versus like, let's go hang out in person. That was one, right? Let's network and let's get together again. But two is this rapid acceleration of AI. And Russell and Todd were like, shoot, we got to go and address what's happening too. This is why it wasn't a longer wait. How did that play into it?
Yeah, I think it played in massively, right? I think Todd, out of anyone I know, he knows more about AI than any human being.
It's insane to sit and have a convo with him.
It really is. And I think, luckily for us and our team, like that's kind of trickled down. Like Todd being at the forefront of AI has allowed our team to take actionable steps to make us more efficient, to make us better at our jobs. Like there's so many things that Clayton on our team and I have built that help us with events drastically. And I know like Chris, team members, Dante, your team members, like you guys, we've all built stuff that makes us better at our jobs. I think, sometimes people are like, oh, well, AI is coming to replace my job. No, it's coming to make you better and it's coming to make you more money. Like, how can you give yourself a raise? Like, master AI, whether you're an employer or a business owner, like if you can take even just a little bit of what Todd's teaching and apply that to your business or your job or even whatever you're doing with your life, like, yeah, I think it's going to improve exponentially. And so I think for people to come just hear Todd talk about it, one, they're going to gain such a great knowledge and understanding of AI. And then to have Russell on that other side of how he's taking Todd's knowledge and applying it to marketing and to business.
Yeah,
like,
it's nuts.
It's pretty killer.
Because like, it's cool that you can create things, right? It's awesome that you and Clayton can sit there and like, ooh, I created things to make my everyday job easier. How many things have you also not created? You haven't gone down the path of trying to make a solution for that. You haven't wasted any time. And a lot of that just comes because you understand AI and like a conceptual level, you understand what it does, what it's good at, the ways it can help you and the ways it doesn't. You're just a little bit educated on the thing from Todd. And that is what a lot of people miss, I think, Myles. Too many people, they just don't have like the base layer foundation of how this all actually works. And I find them spending so much time like building apps or building projects or building solutions for problems that like, number one, are not that big. And number two, it's not the right solution you need to be building or in the right way. So just having that foundational knowledge, it really is incredible.
He'll get into that, right? I mean, I think Todd's going to get into that for sure.
Luckily, I've seen the whole entire, program and the schedule for it. And, Todd's got a lot more stage time. And honestly, like, I think that's a blessing for our attendees. Todd in the last couple months, especially with some of the stuff we've been doing, he's been on our stages a lot more. And like, I wish that sometimes I wish he would just stay up there the whole time. Like he is so freaking smart. And then in a way that like, he tells it in a way where like it scares you, but then shows you how you can apply it and do the thing. So, I just think our folks are in for such a treat. And then again, like I mentioned, Russell's taking what Todd's sharing and how he's using it in business, in marketing, in, entrepreneurship. I think it's going to unlock a lot of doors and a lot of, those aha moments for our attendees.
For sure. We actually had him up at our 2CCX event a few months ago. Like he flew in and we had to like cut off the Q&A. And he just the way that he teaches, like even somebody asks just a question. And so that's what I'm really excited about. By the way, this is at Fontainebleau in Las Vegas, September 21st through 23rd. Go get your tickets. If you have not yet already, funnelhackinglive.com/CFR, get your ticket. There's still seats. Like I think we still have a few of the premium seats. And then I think there's some that are more cost effective and so on. Like you can choose where you're at. But I want to back up for 1 second because Myles, I know we've talked about this and then I want to dive into a little bit more about one, maybe why events and why Funnel Hacking Live specifically and some of the other things we're going to do. But I also don't want to discredit you, man. Like I've worked with you since 2018 and I've seen you run every single stinking event that we've had from even before that, but you've had a lot of different roles. But in and out of the events. But you started doing events for like an MLM company, right? And you didn't even really know that wasn't your role, but you enjoyed that the most. So is this something that you knew that you always wanted to do? How did you end up with Russell Brunson, like running these events?
Great question. So I was at a local MLM company. I was there for 7 years. And honestly, for being honest, like I hated my job there, but there were 2 times of the year we had a massive event in the summer. And then we had this thing where it was like a 2-week trip in the beginning of winter, or I guess like the beginning of the year. So winter time. And it was like probably 7 or 8 total events between those two. And I lived for those. Like 1, I got to travel, see a new place. 2, I got to work with people, meet new folks. And it was just, it was the only thing that probably kept me there. Like I mentioned, I hated that job and I really did. Like I was like, I got to get out of here. Like I got to find something else to do. And, I had watched Russell Brunson's perfect webinar, how I made, $17,592 a day with my funnel. Yeah. And I had watched that and I was like, you know what? Like, I think they're like right next door. Like I live right down the road from him. And long story short, my buddy, he's in construction. He's like, yeah, I'm working on this building. It's called ClickFunnels. I was like, dude, get me in the door. Like if you know one of them are there, make sure I'm there with you. Like, dude, I'll pretend I'm cleaning the office building and I just need an introduction. I need a job. And so one day I had a day off on Friday at my old job and he calls me. He's like, hey, I'm headed in. Like all the people are there. He's like, I'm going to go throw some stuff away. Do you want to come with me? And so he came, picked me up. We drove into the office.
I've never heard this story, Myles. This is awesome.
This is awesome.
Yeah, no, this was all a setup. And so we walk in and Brent Peters, who's one of the partners here, he was doing some tasks around like this unfinished office. And anyway, we kind of were chatting. He's like, so what do you do for work? I was like, oh, I'm a project manager over here at this company. I've been there for 7 years. And he's like, well, do you want a job here? And I was
just like that?
That was easy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cause they were in this hyper growth phase and I was like, yeah, I absolutely want a job. He's like, well, send me over your resume. And so I did. And I didn't hear back from the guy for, I don't know, like 2 weeks. And I kept following up and just like, hey, Brent. And he's like, hey, sorry, it was Funnel Hacking Live happening at that time. He's like, we're hosting this massive event, Funnel Hacking Live. And so he got back. He's like, hey, I'm going to send you over a job offer today. And I just remember getting that job offer and my stomach sank. I was like, that's quite a bit less than I'm making at my current role. And I remember like talking. Yeah. So it was kind of hard. And I was talking with my wife. I was like, look, like I absolutely hate my job over here. Like I work with great people over here, but I just don't like what I'm doing. I was like, something's telling me I have to go over here. And she's like, I trust you. She's like, I don't love that you're taking a pay cut. But I remember I came over to ClickFunnels and March 6th, 2017, that was my first day. And I like nothing against it, but that first year was probably like the worst year of my life here at ClickFunnels.
Wow.
And not because of the people. People were great. But it was kind of a humbling experience for me because I came in I was a project manager working with some, big people at this MLM. So all of a sudden I came in and I was like the grunt. Like if there was trash, like Myles took it out. If snacks need to be restocked, Myles ran to the store. If something needed to be dropped off at the post office, like I was everybody's like EA, like any task someone didn't want to do, Myles got to do it. And I don't mean to talk in the third person there. So like I had just so many different tasks. And I remember my old company sent me an offer back, like, hey, if you want to come back, like here's an offer. And it was more than I was making when I left. And it was a lot more than I was making here. And
That's
I
so
literally
crazy
was
how
like,
that happens.
I know. And I was so close to going back. Cause I was like, dude, like this is good money. And I just remember like my wife's like, you left, like, what are you going to do? Like you left, you made the decision. Like, do you really want to go back? Like you said, you were miserable. And, I was like, you know what? She's right. Like, so I stayed here and, things got better. I remember, my first opportunity to really contribute.
Real quick, before we keep going, if you've been sitting on the sidelines thinking about building your first funnel, here's your invitation to stop waiting. Right now, you can get 3 months, not one, but 3 months of ClickFunnels for $99. That's it. That's the platform, the templates, everything you need to get something live. Click the link below.
Real quick, side story. So my sister-in-law started working here too. And we do Friday lunches. And one of my roles during that time was I had to take everyone's order on Friday lunches, go order it and pick it up.
You've always been the office foodie though, man.
But that was a humbling experience taking my sister-in-law's lunch order. And then when we're having family dinner, she's just like, yeah, Myles messed up my lunch order. I'm like, well, I didn't mess up anything. The restaurant did, but it was just like that. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it was very humbling. But then 2018, Grant Cardone's 10X event. Obviously, that's where Russell broke the world record, $3.2 million in 90 minutes. And they had me helping with a lot of the logistics on the back end. Like, again, the stuff people didn't want to take care of or figure out. They're just like, give it to Myles, he'll do it. So, yeah. So I was figuring all this stuff on the back end with Grant's team and ordering the inventory for stuff and figuring all that out. And I remember they had a meeting about the actual event and Russell was asking questions and no one could answer the questions. Because nobody knew what was happening. So then they called me in and I was able to answer every single question. And he's like, oh, okay, well, when do you land? I was like, oh, I'm actually not going to Vegas. And then he's like, yeah, essentially it came down to, yeah, you're going to be in Vegas. And, had the opportunity to kind of show my skill set and,
yeah. Oh, you didn't get the email before you just showed me you were the only one that knew anything going on? You are coming, Myles. Actually, we'd love to have you there.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And it was an awesome experience. I got to go down there and, like I said, show my skill set. And, I think that was the moment they realized, oh, Myles can do more than take out trash and restock a fridge and mess up lunch orders. So, and then, from there, I worked with Dave Woodward for a year on the relationship manager side while still helping with all of our events.
Yeah, you were double duty when I came in. Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually there's like, hey, do you want to move to events full time? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like I love events. And so I've been doing events since 2018 full time. Obviously they went away with COVID. So went back to, just doing random stuff in a period of 2020. So that was interesting, but
yeah, you've been back to partnerships for a bit too. Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to partnerships and then we started doing these 21-day challenges, was doing that. And then events came back full swing. And and if you guys know, Russell does a lot of events, whether they're internally here at our office or whether they're, at a certain location or whether they're virtual. I think in 2023, I think we did 42 total events between.
How many you think you did in the last 2 months?
Oof, I don't know, maybe 10, 15.
You've had them back to back, whether it's Inner Circle, whether it was Offer Secrets, whether it was, a Decade in a Day. Like, these are back to back to back to back. And can I just say, for everybody listening, like, I know this is story time, sure. But I can tell you something that's very unique about Myles, okay? Whoever you're choosing, whether it's you on your team or anybody else, they have to be the one person that can have about 18 million intakes and be able to keep like every single one of these plates spinning. I've watched Myles in some of the most chaotic situations stay calm and collected and still just direct. Boom, boom, boom. He's listening to a Voxer message. He's reading a text while he has the AV team in his ear and Russell's saying, hey, Myles. And he's like, yep, 1 second, got this. So whoever you pick, if they're like a high-strung individual, like it can't be that. It has to be somebody who can like take a lot of information and handle this. So my next question, Myles, is like, for other people, for other companies that are event coordinators, how do they, one, pick the right person, or if they're the person, how do they keep all those plates spinning? You got like a secret way to do this?
Well, that's a really good question, Chris. I think, you said that, but there have been, nights where I've gone back and just screamed in my pillow at an event.
Yeah, but it's in your pillow, dude. It's not in front of the team.
Well, because I believe, what's the saying? Like, chaos begats chaos. And so if the one leading the event is stressed and chaotic and everything else, that trickles down, like it always does. And then the rest of the team's stressed and chaotic. And like, if we can at the top stay cool, calm, and collected and never show that something's like, there's a lot of things. That's the coolest thing about events is something will always go wrong. And it's just figuring it out. And so I think that's the big one. Just like, how do you react in pressure situations? That if I were hiring an events guy, that would be my only thing. Like, yeah, I think that's probably it. Like,
adaptability, like that you can get up to the line and call an audible and say, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's try to figure this out. And I've seen you do it 100 times. Can you give an example? I know I'm putting you on the spot of where something didn't go as planned and you pivoted and maybe even turned out better than you thought or the initial plan.
I mean, there's a lot. And I think one thing I do is I can laugh at the situation a little bit. Like, there was one speaker that had just an insane rider, and a rider is like what they require in the green room or the rooms for their team or security. Like, and this speaker's rider is just absolutely insane. And they send it over.
I think I know exactly who we're talking about. Keep going.
Yeah, you could probably figure it out. But the speaker required a certain type of chair for them to sit on stage. And it was like this throne looking thing. And they sent the link where to buy it. The link was just a 404 error page. And so we went and we found a chair that was as similar as possible. And I remember their team came back and saw the chair, and they're just like, this chair absolutely doesn't work. We're just like, well, what do you mean? They're like, this isn't the link we sent you. And it just like that, you could tell they were frustrated and kind of got a little chaotic. So we spent the rest of that night, like looking through the hotel, through the casino, through the bars, through the restaurants, trying to find a chair that matched this. And we're laughing the whole time because me, Clayton, and then actually the AV guy, we were just perusing the entire city of Las Vegas trying to find this chair. And, we turned it into a game, and it was chaotic. Their team was stressed. We knew it would always work out. And then I think the best part of this story was they have a relationship with someone that helps with the events. And they're like, we want you to go out and buy this chair, like the one that this speaker needs. I remember that guy went out, bought the chair and brought it back. And he hits me up on the radio. He's like, hey, I need you to come grab the chair out of the car. I'm right back here. I go back to pick it up, and he had opened up the car, and I was like, well, where's the chair? He's like, this is it. I was like, that's the exact same chair I have in there. He's like, no, like I sent him pictures. They approved it, but we went out and bought the exact same bar stool for this speaker. And I still have the picture on my phone because I just remember like how chaotic their team was compared to ours. Like we were like, yeah, you know what? We'll get it figured out. When you're launching or building a funnel or, doing any of those things, like you can run so many tests. Like you can make sure the payment processor works. You can make sure, the link takes you to the right spot. You can do all these tests. Like I compare events to like launching a rocket ship into space. Like
for real.
you've built it, you've figured everything out before, like, this is how much water pressure or fuel pressure. I don't know anything about rocket ships, but I'm pretending to. Like, they plan this thing, but they actually don't know what that rocket ship's going to do until it leaves the ground, leaves orbit, and gets into space. And they've done all this planning, and they're just really hoping it works. And I hate to say that, but that's kind of how events are. Like, you've done all this planning. You have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, but you have no way to test it. Like, once the event's in motion, the rocket ship's just taken off, and you're just hoping it gets to orbit, and you're hoping the astronauts stay cool, calm, and collected, in the space shuttle. And that's essentially what we do with events.
The movie The Martian, who's the main guy? He's Ben Affleck's buddy. I can't remember his name. Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Matt Damon. So he says at the end, he's like talking, he becomes that professor or whatever. He's like, here's the deal. You make all these plans, and then here's what you do. You solve problems. And if you solve enough problems, you get to go home. And I think events are like that too. Like, dude, you're constantly solving problems. And it is chaos sometimes, but what is it about events that makes you say, okay, because I'll tell you, I've been there with you, dude. And you and I have looked at each other at 11 o'clock at night or midnight and go, okay, we got another hour to go. And then we got to be back here at 6. Like, it's crazy. You're 16, 18-hour days all the time. So why, though, is it the thing for you? You have this twice a year at your other company. You do a bunch of these. Why is that the thing that you love so much? For me, it recharges me. Like, dude, I look forward to Funnel Hacking Live. I know Dante does too. Like, he and I ran into each other a couple years ago, and just huge hugs and smiles. Like, we're back at FHL. And why events, though?
It's a great question, Chris. I think we like solving problems. Like, Dante, Chris, would you guys agree? Like, we love solving problems. Like I think that's like with my wife, she comes to me with like this story, and I'm sitting there, and I've heard other people talk about this, but she's telling me something. I'm like, I just want to solve her problem, but she just wants me to listen, type of thing. And
you saw the short clip. It's not about the nail, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the same type of thing.
We're problem solvers. We love problem solving. I think it's the same thing. Pace Morby talked about it. Like, why do men love golfing so much? It's because after every shot, you have a new problem you have to figure out. Like, you're always thinking critically, like, how do I need to approach the pin? How do I need to, like, what's this putt going to do? Or what should I drive? Like, what should I tee off with? Is it too narrow for a driver? Like, we love thinking critically, and that's why we love golf. And I think that's why I love events, because you have to think critically for 3 straight days, 4 straight days, 5 straight days. And like, it feels good to like solve a problem. You're like, I just solved that. Like, that was sweet. And then also at the back end of that, like, you get to see the experience the attendees have and how much their lives change. And so really it comes down to like the impact these events are having. Like, and it's not me, like, we help coordinate the stuff behind the scenes, but it's like what Russell and Todd and the other speakers are doing for our attendees. I think that's super impactful. And I think, this sounds really weird maybe, but my favorite part of the event is, like, I love going down to the ballroom like that Sunday morning after the event's been completely cleared out. And I love walking in that ballroom and just sitting there for like 10 to 15 minutes, and it's pure silence and just rethinking or recapping like what happened over the last couple of days. How many lives did we change, or, what things went wrong with the event, what things went well with the event, and just think about the good times like that happened during those 4 days. And I think, I don't know, for me, it's therapeutic, and I don't know why that's my favorite part, maybe because the event's over and the stress is gone, but there's something about just sitting there and thinking and recapping like what happened, what transpired that week.
And even more so, like, coming back the next year and seeing the proof. Like, there's the saying, the proof is in the pudding. I don't think any other company in the history of forever has more proof in the pudding than ClickFunnels and Funnel Hacking Live, specifically the 2 Comma Club Award. Like, when people say, okay, I got up there and we parade all these people, and this is all choreographed. Like, we know what we're doing. We parade these people across stage and say, hey, listen, this person did it in this space. This person's a dog trainer. This person's in real estate. This person's investing. This person is in, marriage help. And they've made 2 commas, right? $1 million. And you see one person. I remember first one that I went to and watched, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm a pretty sharp guy. If they can do it, I can do it. And that's one of the biggest things. A lot of times you go to an event, and this is what I think is cool. Like, Myles, you say, there's all these other events out there, but you can come back and say, here's definitely the impact that this community, this event made. Nobody's keeping track and can actually quantify that like Funnel Hacking Live. So maybe talk about why a little bit the 2 Comma Club Award and where that fits into the event. Is that happening this year? Like, I love the impact that you mentioned.
Chris, great question on the award. I think it's two-part. One, you mentioned it, like you were sitting the first time you saw the award ceremony, you were sitting in your chair and you're like, I'm a pretty sharp guy. And if that person can make $1 million, there's no reason I can't. Or, if that person can earn a 2 Comma Club award, there's no reason I can't earn a 2 Comma Club award. So I think one part of it is that belief, like giving people in the audience that belief, or even that goal or that target to aim to. Like a lot of people leave Funnel Hacking Live and they'll post on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever social media platform they use. And it's just like, I'm going to be up on that stage next year. And so I think, that award ceremony gives people a lot of hope and belief. And also outside of that, a goal and a target to work towards.
Yeah. Nobody, people leave events all the time. And what happens? They're on this high. Eileen Wilder calls it temporary suspension of belief, which I think is genius. She's like, I actually believe that I can do this, but then they leave and guess what happens? Real life smacks them in the face.
Yep.
And, then their business gets underwater and they're running kids to things. This though, people go, okay, that's it. That's my goal. I want that plaque on my wall. No other event's doing this where people leave and guess what? How many times have we heard, Dante, like people come on to this podcast and they're like, that was the story. It was Funnel Hacking Live. I saw somebody else do it. And within 12 months, I had my award.
Yep.
It's just crazy, man. This is quantifiable. It's like, I don't know, 3,000, almost 4,000 people that have won a 2 Comma Club award. It's crazy.
Yep. And, they've walked across the stage and earned their awards. And I mean, like, if you go look after Funnel Hacking Live, that's all those guys' profile pictures is them on stage with Russell and Todd showing the rewards. And the other part is to celebrate them. Like, they've done something amazing.
So Myles, I'm on the front end of things, right? I get to deal with a lot of our members when they first join our world, and I break it down for them, make it a little bit easier to understand. But I've been able to see, man, unbelievable transformations. I mean, unbelievable transformations, right? So, but that's just like me. I got to imagine you've been able to see some amazing transformations of like, I saw this person, they came to this event, they took this thing, and here's what they did. Do you have any of those fresh on the top of your mind?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you asked that because just about 2 weeks ago here, we held like a influencer event. We had a bunch of influencers come in and it was kind of fascinating. We were sitting in Russell's penthouse eating dinner, and one of the guys started asking about Funnel Hacking Live. He's like, hey, like, where is it? When is it? And we told him the dates. We're like, are you going to be there? And he was like, funny story about Funnel Hacking Live. He's like, I was struggling. Like, I didn't know what I was really doing. He's like, I went out on a whim. I bought a ticket. And he's like, I think he said it was 2018 is the one he went to. He's like, I bought a ticket to it, not knowing what I was doing. He lives overseas. So it was a pretty hefty investment for him to fly to the US, go down to Orlando. And I remember he was just like, what I heard on stage that day, like it flipped like my belief system. He's like, I knew I could do it. And then I knew how to do it. He's like, obviously I've had some, roadblocks along the way, but he literally said like Funnel Hacking Live was the one thing that like gave him the belief to go all in on what he was doing. And, obviously he's massively successful. There's other folks like you look at McCall Jones. How many times have we hired McCall Jones in the last couple of years to help consult on things? How many other, people is she consulting with? Like McCall Jones is killing it right now. And if you go back to her story, she was just going to Funnel Hacking Live just to watch her sister-in-law speak on stage. She wasn't going there because she wanted to grow a business or she wanted to do anything, but she heard a speaker on stage and had that calling, like, I need to do this. And because I think it was like a 2-part, like someone was speaking on stage and a lady sitting next to her was struggling with figuring out how to do, why her engagement wasn't higher on her post. And McCall's like, I know why. Like, I know why that is. Like, I could teach people how to do this and I could teach people. And so like, she heard the calling and she went all in. And now McCall Jones and her husband, Tanner, are absolutely killing it. Like that was someone who was just at Funnel Hacking Live for the heck of it.
Quick pause here. If any part of today's conversation got you thinking about building your own funnel, ClickFunnels has a 14-day free trial so you can go try it yourself and see if it's the right fit. Click the link below to get started.
You look at Eileen Wilder, who went to Funnel Hacking Live while her husband was out driving Uber Eats and Uber to make ends meet. And, she heard a presentation on stage that just radically impacted like her belief system. And Eileen's like literally killing it. I think we all want to be Eileen. She works very little and gets paid very lot. Like she's an incredible human being. And just because she attended Funnel Hacking Live. And there's so many other stories like that. Like, and I think that's why people are asking, like, when is Funnel Hacking Live coming back? Like, it's my favorite event. It's where I get to network. It's where I get to hear from Russell and from Todd. But also it's like, man, like, how much are we impacting folks' belief systems?
Well, people in the room too, Myles. Like, I love this McCall Jones one because, she's getting inspired from the stage, but that's only part of it. I think there's something very, very real about this concept of being in the room.
Yep.
So she's hearing from somebody on stage. Then she turns to somebody next to her who's giving her even more belief. Like, I need help with this. And she's like, wait, I can help with this. You never know. I also believe in what I call divine rendezvous. God will put you in orbit with the people that you need to be and make these connections if you're willing to open those doors. Just like you, like, oh my gosh, I ended up talking to Brent Coe-Peters when we were dropping off some stuff at the office. Like, if you'll listen and follow these little promptings. So maybe talk a little bit to us about, like, hey, being in that room, like some of the like-minded people. I love that you said people show up in shorts and flip-flops. This is truly a room where you can be yourself, and a lot of people feel like they can't be themselves with anybody else, and they step into this room. And I've heard them all say, Dante, right? Like, I felt like I was at home. So what is so special about this group of people that shows up?
Well, I think it's who Russell and Todd attract. Like, Russell and Todd are their true, authentic selves. And so our team gets to be our true, authentic self. Jester's privilege is proof of that. And then from there, like, the people that they attract to themselves, like our attendees or our customers, like, they get to be their true, authentic selves. And I think, when I don't want to say like guard down, but when you come into that event and you feel comfortable, your guard is down, and like, you're not going to get attacked or anything like that, but like, you're going to be able to talk to people. People are going to talk to you. Like, it's not just like, I don't know. Not everybody's there, not just peacocking. Like, people are there genuinely to understand your business, ask questions, give feedback, and vice versa. Like, it's crazy how much networking goes on. Like, these Funnel Hacking Lives, we will go into the night and we'll come down that next morning. Chris knows this firsthand. Like, we leave at midnight. People are still out there networking. We're down there for our team meeting at 5 a.m. Those people are still on the couches mapping out different business plans or ideas or how they can work together, or how just not even work together, but hey, this is what you could do to exponentially grow what you're working on.
Yeah, but people become business partners too. I've seen that as, like, I met you 11 o'clock last night, and by 6 a.m. they built something in their business partners and go on to win 2 Comic Club awards.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see. Again, and I give credit to Russell and Todd, who they're getting in the room, to allow that to happen. So, yeah. And I think Funnel Hacking Live here in September, we're going to allow for a lot of that, like being able to network and to, it is a smaller, more intimate group. Like we've talked about, 1,940 people. That's not just a face in a sea of 5,000. Like, there's less than 2,000 people there, and you're going to be able to go deeper rather than wider at this event.
And it's just the right 2,000 people too, with more exclusivity. The people that are there are just more the right people. Another quick story about that. I love how you mentioned how Todd and Russell allow us to be who we are. I think that's really true, and we don't even pay attention to that much here in Funneltopia. But like, a really cool story is we had a young lady, and she was also an international traveler. She came over to FHL, I think it was 2019. Anyway, she was I find this out later. She was really, really nervous to come ask me for my help or opinion on this thing, because she's like, well, if I ever went to another event, then they would try and sell me, and I wasn't trying to be hard sold, right? So anyway, she builds up the courage. I don't know this. She comes over and she asked me for help on this topic. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's crazy you asked about that. I have a really good friend who's amazing at this. I just grabbed her by the arm. I walked her across the room. I introed her to my buddy, and I was like, hey man, she's having this problem. Can you help her out? He said, yeah, I'd love to. Boom, connection. I didn't think about that. It was just, oh, this person has a problem, and I know the exact person who is the solution for that. Let me go connect them. I end up seeing her the next day. She comes over. She's broken down in tears, so thankful and appreciative that she was able to ask her question without being sold, but then so thankful and appreciative that I made the connection, because she wouldn't have done that herself normally, but the person that I connected her with was exactly who she needed to be connected with. And actually, he needed her as well when they got to talk. And that night they formed a business relationship. And the year later, I saw them again. No, It was 2019 because the next FHL was virtual because of COVID. So that year they started during COVID $1 million business together. And it was amazing. Like just from being there and asking one question, that's just like one of thousands of stories about the connections that people make with the right people, your network being your net worth. And it's just incredible. So I'm so excited for that, Myles. It's going to be great.
And I think you kind of hit it on the head. Like everybody in there knows somebody that can do the thing for somebody else. Like, our team, I feel like you mentioned, Dante, just taking them over there. Like we know our customers pretty well. You're very forward facing. You know, a lot of these folks, Chris, you as well. And so if we get those questions at the event, from random, Samantha comes up and she has a question like, hey, Samantha, I actually know the perfect person for that. And our attendees are the same way. Like
it's like the 6 or 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Was it 6 or 7? I can't remember, but anyways, everybody knows somebody who knows somebody that can probably help solve your problem, but being in the room is where it happens.
Yep.
Yeah. We experienced the virtual events during COVID, and those have still continued on. And I think virtual events are awesome and they're great, but there's something powerful about being in the room. And it's a kind of a story, or to compare it to something, like I have a home gym in my garage. And I can tell you, I've probably done 15 total reps on that home gym. But the gym down the road that I'm paying for, like when I go into that gym, like I actually get a workout in. Like I've made the effort to get in my car and drive to the gym. I'm already there. Like I might as well get the best workout I can. And when I'm at home, I go in the garage. There's no incentive to go all out. Cause like, well, I didn't put any effort to get out in the garage. But like when I get up and go to the gym, like I have an incentive to like work out hard. And it's the same thing like at attending an event. Like, yeah, you're at your home. Maybe it's easier not to put in maximal effort, but you've already taken the time. You left your house, you left your wife or kids or husband and kids or family or pets or whatever it is. Like you're at this event, and people tend to go more all in when they've made that, they've made the decision to go and do something. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like
it 100% does. It 100% does. It's like the whole theory behind funnels. Get somebody to say yes to you at a lead magnet level and then get them to say yes again. It's what you're saying here is what you water grows, just like your career when you came over to ClickFunnels and watered that seed there. Just the same thing here. When somebody says yes to an event, they get on an airplane, they make a decision to leave whatever thing is uncomfortable to leave to go do the thing. It's that level of intentionality spread over how many people? 1,940?
Yep,
that is 1,940 individuals that left their parents, their families, their children's, their jobs, sacrificed a vacation with their family. Every single one of them had a level or higher of intentionality to be there. And that's something you can't manufacture or reproduce. You gotta be in the room to experience and feel and benefit from that.
Well, and I think there's a lot of people too that are probably even right now, maybe on the bubbles, like, because like Dante's saying, like you say yes to this, you're saying no to a bunch of other things, right? You may be saying no to a birthday party because it's like, oh crud, well, my cousin's friend's mom's getting married, on September 22nd or whatever. It's like, you are saying no to things. So Myles, I want to know, like, if the person who's shy or the person who just likes the virtual events or whatever, like what would you say to that person who's sitting there and like, man, I don't know if I want to get onto a plane. Like, how do they overcome that? Like, what do they do?
I mean, it's the same thing with anything. You just have to start, or you just have to do it. Like it's the same thing with a diet or eating better. Like you don't just dabble in it. Like you got to go all in. Like Tony talks about it, like burning the boats. Like I think buying your ticket to Funnel Hacking Live is lighting that torch to start burning the boats, because once you get to Funnel Hacking Live, Russell and Todd are going to convince you to burn that boat. And we've talked about the people that Russell and Todd attract. And I know there's a lot of introverts out there, and I think it's hard to be an introvert, or we make it easier to be an introvert at our events because it's welcoming. Like we want to make sure, you made the right decision. Totally. We talk about this, Chris, in our team meetings all the time. Like every time our attendees, like we have to make sure they know, like their first experience with us, they have to make sure they know they made the right decision. And so, I'm not like unveiling like any secret behind, Wizard of Oz behind the curtain type of thing, but like that's our team's goal, is we want to make sure you understand, like, hey, you're here, you're in the right place. And then the attendees that Russell and Todd have attracted can help solidify that, because, sure, there might be a few bad eggs in every bunch, but like, man, that room is filled with such incredible people every single year. And so, if you're on the fence or you're a little nervous about showing up, just know, like, if you don't want to talk to anybody, any of the attendees, find us in whatever staff shirt we're in. We'll talk to you.
Yeah.
We'll
Hugs
make
and
sure
high fives, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think, we do a pretty good job of making sure people feel comfortable, and then that allows them to open up and experience funnel hacking live the way it's meant to be. So I don't know if I answered your question directly.
Yeah, you
Chris,
did. Well, you did. And everybody can make excuses. Like, I'll tell you one of the biggest excuses is like, we all want more time and we all want more money. But just like any good investment, what do you have to do? You have to give up what you're trying to get more of to get a return on that investment. So if you're sitting at home going, okay, well, I don't have the time, because I can hear it already. I know you're thinking that, but my situation's different. No, it's not. No, it's not. Everybody's got their stuff. So if it's time or it's money, you have to invest a little bit of both of those to get more back. And if you talk to the people that Dante connected, right? Or all the people that we just talked about with Myles, they gave up that time, they gave up that money, they showed up and they set a goal and they were intentional about it and just went and started. You just need the belief and be able to do this. So I'd encourage anybody, once again, I know I keep saying this, but funnelhackinglive.com/CFR, September 21st through 23rd at the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas. It's going to be a unique experience.
And we do want you guys to go, because here's the deal. Here's what I don't want for anybody, Chris. So speak honestly. What I don't want is after this next, I don't want anybody here right now to be listening to this and be like, yeah, I've heard about FHL. I know it's amazing, but I don't know if I want to go. There is this bar mitzvah that might be happening on the 21st, and I don't know if I should miss that. Like, all the little things start. I get it. I hear you. I understand. But at the same time, I don't want you to be that person that on the 24th, actually, while the event is happening and the next month after the event, and the entire internet is going nuts on FHL, promise you, take my words, you will see a slew of people that say, darn, I wish I bought my ticket this year. I wish I was there. I'll get it next year. And guess what, gang? They're not going to. The next year, they're going to do the exact same thing. Some other thing is going to happen. They're going to allow some woman with the red dress to take their eyes off their prize, the goal, a place that they want to actually get to. And the next year, they're going to say again, darn, I'm so sad I missed it. And that's what I don't want. So honestly, come or don't
if
come.
Not
it's
now,
your
when?
Decision. But please make a decision. Please do not be the drifter, the one that allows himself to sit on the couch eating the chips saying, yeah, I think I'll get there. Maybe. Make a decision, yes or no. And just know this as well. To not make a decision, to sit there and allow yourself to say, maybe, I don't know, oops, too late, tickets are sold out. That is also you making a decision of no. We just need to be conscious about that.
How much are the tickets, Myles?
That's a great question. So tickets start at $9.97.
Come on.
There's different. Yeah, I mean, $9.97. Like we've talked about these other folks that have come.
You get a direct flight to Vegas too from almost anywhere.
Well, yeah. It's funny. I was actually doing the math for like what it would cost, and I think it's our cheapest event to attend we've ever done for an attendee.
Like room blocks, everything else. And by the way, Fountain Blue is beautiful, and you're paying a ton less than you would probably even for some garbage hotels, down the strip.
So if you haven't been to the Fountain Blue or know about it, like type it in online, just Google the Fountain Blue Las Vegas. It is a newer hotel. It's amazing. It smells good. Every single room, you feel like you're in a suite. Doesn't matter if you're in just a basic room. We were able to negotiate a $169 room rate per night.
Crazy.
Like, I don't think you can beat that at the Motel 8 down the road down there. So like, it is an incredibly killer deal. Like Chris mentioned, it's in Las Vegas. Pretty much every city and state has a direct flight to Las Vegas. Even Boise, Idaho does. So if Boise, Idaho does, more than likely your state or city does. So, it's a quick flight over there. And, I was just doing it was kind of weird. I don't know why I was doing it, but I was just looking up flights from all sorts of different cities, like even smaller ones like Charlotte. I was looking up from Jupiter, whatever it was. Like I was just random airports trying to figure out what it costs to get to Las Vegas. It's not that crazy. Like there were flights that were $120. There were flights that were $339. Like it wasn't crazy. And again, tickets starting at $9.97. And then it just goes back to what we talked about. Like how much is that, relationship with the right person work? How much is that aha or that belief, or how much is that worth? Like, I don't know, Dante talked about it. Those two people built a 2 comma club business in a year. So if you look at that, that's a 5,000x ROI. Like what? Like, give me a break.
Well, what does a lazy boy cost? I don't know, $1,500, maybe $2,000 for license. Like, this is less than the money that you're going to spend on the lazy boy to sit your lazy butt in and do nothing. Like, you could spend less than that and actually go get as many lazy boys as you want for the rest of your life. Like, that's how I look at this, is to go compare, like, if you don't spend money or time on this, what are you going to go spend your money and time on? And at some point you have to invest in yourself. And if you don't, nothing's going to change. Right. And so just like Myles says, one of my favorite quotes, work very little, make very lot, right? Like that's what we're trying to get, but it means for a concentrated period of time, you got to invest.
Yeah, I agree. And, there's some people that it may be like, I just don't have any money. Like, we've talked about the time, we've talked about the money, but there may be someone like, I don't have 2 credit cards even rubbed together to make this thing happen. Like, we go back, look at Stephen Larson's story from Funnel Hacking Live, 2016,
some funnels, baby,
where he was like, I don't have the money or the funds to afford this, but he spent the time, went deep on funnels, built funnels for other people. He traded funnels for hotel rooms, funnels for flights, funnels for tickets, and like, man, if you really want to go that bad, go to a thrift shop, find some stuff, flip it on eBay. Like, there are so many ways to make money out there.
Be like Gary Vee. You only need 1 spoon, sell your other 18, right? Like, there are ways.
Exactly.
Honestly, if it's really what you want to do, then if that's your goal, then you can honestly come up with ways to get there.
I agree. And that's like the first belief, like, that's changed for people. It's like, well, I can't afford it. And then all of a sudden they go out and realize, oh, I can make $1,000 doing this. And then they come into Funnel Hacking Live. They're like, oh, like, I learned this skill set to be able to afford to come here. And now it's compounding. Look at Stephen Larson's, like, he figured out how to get tickets to something he couldn't afford. And then his, business and whatever he was working on springboarded from that Funnel Hacking Live. And I think a lot of people, like, if you can't afford it, like, I'm not saying, like, I know it's like that weird thing. Like, if you want to, you can do it, but like, you really can.
And Myles, I think maybe just a little bit more about why Funnel Hacking Live is different than any other. Like, you could go and say, okay, I'm going to join this mastermind, or I'm going to do any of these other things. But I will tell you, I've heard over and over and over that Funnel Hacking Live is different. 1, it's a rock concert. 2, you're meeting the right people. Like, it's entertaining, like, it's edutaining, like. But what are some of the reasons why this has become like the industry event that's unlike any others? And a lot of it's credit to you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. But really, the credit goes to Russell and Todd. Like, the amount of time Russell spends on, like, curating this event is insane. Like, it is thought through. And like, when we first announced this, we had our speaker lineup, and Russell's like, this just doesn't feel right yet. So we modified it and changed it and interchanged a couple speakers, that over the next couple of weeks. He's like, this still doesn't feel right yet. And he kept tweaking it. And like, that's what he does with these events. He makes sure, like, he's a feeler is what he says. Like, Todd's a thinker, Russell's a feeler. Todd looks at the schedule like, I don't think that's right. Russell's,
dude, you've taught me this. I remember one time I was trying to get an answer from Russell, and you're like, Chris, tell me exactly what you said. And I said, oh, blah, 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 blah. Tell me what you think about that. Russell, he says, no. Chris, you got to do it different. Ask Russell how he feels. How does that make you feel? Because he's a feeler. I love that you said that.
And he is. And he fills these events like he fills out like the way it should be until it's perfect. Like, I think a lot of other times, you look at these events and they're just bringing in the biggest name speakers that they can.
They're trying to sell tickets rather than the fulfillment, right? They're like, man, we go try to make a difference and get you to change.
Yeah, exactly. And so, sometimes we don't have like the biggest name speakers.
We're not bringing in Snoop Dogg.
But we're also not bringing in people telling you to sell your spoons. We're bringing in people that are doing the thing every single day, and it's working, so they can reverse engineer it and show you exactly what they're doing. Like, I love that we're talking about this because I've been to all the events, and honestly, some of it drives me nuts. Some of it absolutely drives me nuts. Where is the purpose? Where is the impact? Where is me listening to the last hour of this helping in any way in my life? And it's not. Not at FHL, though.
No,
we don't have to deal with any of that.
No, we don't, because Russell wants the speakers on stage to have an impact on the people in the seats, in the audience. Yep. And so, there's a good mix of everything. Like, there is the motivational and, the raw stuff, but it's if you look at it, it's always intentional and it goes in line with what the next person's about to teach. Like he gives you the belief and then that person comes out and teaches such a simple concept. You're like, I can do that. Like I can absolutely do that. Like Ben Kerr got me fired up and then speaker X came in. Yeah. Like Russell, I don't know how he does it, but cause sometimes I look at the list, like I'll be 100% honest. There's been years where I look at him like, who are these guys? Like, who are these speakers? And then they get up on stage and I'm like, that might be the best presentation I've ever heard. Like there's been a lot of those moments. Russell he's paying attention to what's happening on social media and who's doing what. Like if anyone funnel hacks more than Russell in this world, I'd be surprised, but he knows what people are doing. And hey, you know what? Like that person is going to be amazing on stage because he's going to speak to this audience. And there's no one better at that.
Quick pause. If everything you just heard makes you want more, Funnel Hacking Live is where you get it in person. September 21st through the 23rd at the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas. 3 days, surrounded by people building the exact kind of businesses we talk about on this show. Go grab your seat.
This all comes back to something that we talk about a lot that you are massively in charge of. And it's something that we refer to, and this comes from Barry and Blue as well, is the through line. Right? Is like we have a purpose to every single thing we do in this event. And one is to get you to change. And it's to get you to take action on yourself. But there's a choreography that goes to this, like day one, halfway through day two, we're doing this false belief, or we're trying to give you belief, help you unlock this in yourself. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about that framework and how you choreograph this event?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Chris. And I think you mentioned it, motivation, it can come and go really quickly. And so Russell's whole goal during that event and, Todd as well is how can we continue to instill that belief through 2.5 or 3.5 or 4.5 days where that belief never leaves. And by the end of it, they have actionable steps. Like they know exactly what they need to do when they get home. They knew exactly what they need to do on the plane. They knew exactly what they need to do before they go to sleep that night, the last day of the event. Russell choreographs it in a way where you have a game plan. What's that quote? I don't know who it was. Benjamin Franklin, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail type.
To not have a plan is to have a plan to fail.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that was Ben Franklin, but credit Benjamin Franklin there. But Russell, he wants to make sure you're walking out of there with a game plan and a way to do it. And then
resources too, Myles. Listen, he provides opportunities at these events that you can take advantage of, that you walk away with resources and say, oh, I never knew how I do that. I believe that maybe I could now, but then you walk away and go, crud, well, now that feeling's left. Now what? There's not many events that walk away was hey, you know what? If you want to jump in with us, we'll give you actionable step-by-step plans. He always provides a way for you to get involved.
Yeah. And, I think you're right. And he helps build a community for you. That's the one thing I think a lot of people go into Funnel Hacking Live feeling alone and then they find this community. I think one of you mentioned, I walked into the room and I felt like I was at home, and he provides ways after the event for you to continue to have that community. Cause, I've heard so many entrepreneurs say entrepreneurship is a lonely, lonely road. And, for Russell to bring all those folks together to give each other a support system, you may come into Funnel Hacking Live feeling like a loner, but you're going to leave feeling like you have so many people and resources at your disposal.
I love one of the quotes that Brandon and Kaylin always talk about, and they kind of started the whole hashtag do what Russell says. We don't want to oversimplify it, but at the same time, he gave us these resources. Once we left, I think it was a webinar or something that they watched, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go into the training now that he said that we can go have access to. And we'd watch the video and we'd pause it, and then we'd go do the thing. And then once we were done with that, we'd go watch the next and do it. Those are the type of actionable steps along with community that he provides coming out of an event where it's oh, I just saw Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg. That was cool. Now what?
I think something really cool about FHL, every time I go, it's like a glimpse into Russell. Because a lot of people, I think, don't know this about Russell's story, is he grew up living this life. He grew up chasing business and success and reading books and going to events. And he grew up in his college years when he did this. So when we look at an event now, it's Russell crafts what a perfect event for him would be. And I think it's really cool. And you can feel it when you enter it. You can feel it it starts with energy and momentum and goes right into a hard-hitting speaker with tactics and strategy. And then it lifts you back up and it encourages you and it gets you in the right zone to be able to take the things in. And then you got more and it's just like you watch it hour by hour and it's like, oh, this would be like Russell's perfect day. And it's really cool to be a part of.
Dude, that's part of my origin story, Myles. Like, I brought my boss at the time with me to Funnel Hacking Live in Orlando in 2018 as like Disney Coronado Springs too. And I was like blown away at the production of it. But what I noticed is the effect that it was having on me emotionally and logically, because we have, people who react to things emotionally, logically, or out of fear and everything else. And that was the start kind of like me saying, okay, I'm not going to do what I'm doing anymore. I was done, similar to you. I was like, okay. And I had this guy with me and I was just being transparent with him. I'm like, dude, this is the path for me, whether it is for you or not. And we parted ways. And then 6 months later, Russell has me come, and that's when I met you in Denver, like quit my job the same day. And then later that night was with Myles in Denver and we were starting the speaking team. But it all happened from Funnel Hacking Live. Dante, what was your first Funnel Hacking Live?
I believe it was 2018. I started ClickFunnels in 2016. I believe my first one was 2018. And man, I remember
So Orlando, same one I was at, yeah.
I that first time watching the first doors swing open and watching the rush and then hearing the first speaker. Oh my goodness, I'd never experienced anything like that ever in my life.
And that was my first event too, was Orlando 2018, where I was, helping with it. And like I mentioned at the last company, we did these, 6, 7, 8 events a year. And I just remember being like, this is different. Like, this is insane compared to any other event I had been a part of at that last company. Like, there was something different about it. And, it was Russell, it was the speakers, it was the attendees. Like, I had never seen attendees so amped up to be at an event. And, it was a 3.5 day entrepreneurial rock concert. And it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And I think maybe that's why I love doing it so much still, is like there's nothing else out there like this. Like, there's other marketing events. We've talked about this enough already, but like, what compares to Russell and Todd's Funnel Hacking Live?
The World Cup?
Yeah, maybe.
and I think it's because the World Cup.
You leave with nothing, man.
Like, you walk into the World Cup or an Olympic event or the Super Bowl or the World Series. And let's use baseball as an example. Let's say you have season tickets to your state's baseball team, whoever it may be. You go all year, and that field has its environment. It's got its energy, and you're very used to it, and it feels the same all year. But once playoffs hit, energy shifts. It's the same field, it's the same seats, it's the same banners, it's the same everything. Once you go from playoffs to World Series, energy shifts, right? It's exactly the same thing at FHL. I can't describe it. It's just the energy behind it. But it's the Super Bowl of business ownership and entrepreneurialism.
Yeah, I think one, I love that you used a baseball reference. Two, I think you're right. Like, I think it's hard to describe it. Like, we've tried to, and it's just so hard. And like, I know it sounds lame. Like, you just have to be there to experience it. But like, the same thing, like you don't know what a World Series atmosphere is like until you go to game 1 of the World Series, where Freddie Freeman hits a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 9th inning, type of thing. Like, you don't know what that's like until you're actually there. And it's just electric. Yeah. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. And maybe that's why I like this. Like, I should actually hate Funnel Hacking Live. I think it takes a couple years off my life every single year with the stress leading up to it and the stuff that happens at it. But I don't know, like, maybe the event itself gives me 5 extra years, because like,
oh, for sure,
there is an energy. There is, you said, Chris, like, this is a way for you to, like, it re-energizes you. And somehow, even though our team is working 20, like last year, I think we had a day where we worked 21 hours, but guess what? We were back down there the next morning ready to rock and roll, because like, our attendees show up, we show up, Russell and Todd show up. Like, name another event where people are on 2 hours of sleep and show up like they're just, I don't know, shotgun 3 Red Bulls. Like it is, I don't know. I wish we could describe it, but we can't.
Well, I think, listen, describe it too. Once again, I'll leave it with this too, is the proof's in the pudding. There's no other event that gets this type of proof with the 2 comical boards, which is one of the most genius things ClickFunnels and Russell and Dave and everybody ever did, was that social proof. It's like, holy cow, hold on. You're telling me this is just a software. It's a marketing tool and it can help me make 2 commas or beyond. And they saw it proof over and over and over again. Well, okay, Myles, somebody's on the fence and they're like, okay, man, I can go buy the Lazy Boy, or I can go to Funnel Hacking Live. Like, any parting words that you would tell them?
Honestly, like, there's not much for me to tell them. It's like, what can they ask themselves? Like, what do they want? Do they want to continue sitting in that lazy boy? Do they want to continue, struggling to make ends meet? Do they want to continue, not having the relationships that they need to get whatever to the next level? Like, what do they want? Like, that's up to them. Like, we've told them about the energy. We've told them how amazing Russell and Todd are at choreographing this event. We've told them, how amazing our attendees are, how amazing our team is. But like, at the end of the day, like, it's not like, what do they want? Like, so I think if you're listening to this or watching this, whatever you are, like, what do you want? Do you want to stay complacent where you're at? Like, that's totally cool. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, do whatever you want. Like, I'm a full believer in people can do and choose whatever they want as long as it's legal.
But you can't choose the consequences of those, like good or bad. So make good choices, man.
Yeah. I remember Myron spoke on stage at Funnel Hacking Live, and it's one of my favorite quotes, and like from him, and I'm going to butcher it, but he's like, success is hard on the front end and easy on the back end. Failure is easy on the front end and hard on the back end. You can't choose. He's like, you just have to choose which hard. Like, you can't choose, like, yeah, you just have to choose. Which hard do you want? Do you want it hard on the front end and easy on the back end? That's success. Or do you want easy on the front end, hard on the back end? That's failure. And that's failure to take action. That's failure to do what you were born to do. Or that's laziness maybe. I don't know. Not calling anyone out.
I don't think you're calling anybody out there. I think you're just honestly saying, at the end of the day, just make a decision. If you want to sit in a lazy boy, if that's the life you live, that's totally cool. Nobody here is going to judge you for that at all. As long as you made that decision, a conscious decision, then great.
Myles, you're awesome, man. I wish more people could see what you do behind the scenes. It's hard to talk about all the little things too, but like it's amazing. So props to you, man. You are a rock star on the team for sure. We always do a segment. And you know what's actually really funny about this segment is this brought to you by Funnel Hacking Live. So you can go to funnelhackinglive.com/CFR and get your tickets. But this is rapid fire questions, Myles. So here's how this works. Dante's going to ask a rapid fire question. You in return have to give a rapid fire answer. It's just going to be a few questions. Are you ready to play?
Yeah. We'll see how rapid I can go.
Let's jump into it. Dante, take it away.
Don't you worry, my friend. I left the psychology out of this one. You're going to knock this out of the park like Freddie Freeman himself. Funnel Hacking Live Rapid Fire Edition. When's the event?
It is September 21st through the 23rd.
And what are we calling this event?
Funnel Hacking Live. So if you want your ticket, funnelhackinglive.com/CFR.
Perfect. What's the venue?
The venue is the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. And like I mentioned, it's in Las Vegas, right on the strip, and it's beautiful.
Venue and event. It's all in the Fontainebleau, right?
Correct. Yep.
Fantastic.
So you can hit the down button on the elevator and go to the event.
Yeah,
I don't got to walk all the way across to like some event center or some huge resort where I got to walk past 18, restaurants and other theaters to get to this place.
No, I can tell you exactly. You get in the elevator, you hit down. Once you walk out the elevator bay, you take a right, you walk past a couple, just maybe 3 or 4 storefronts, and then you're at the theater.
Boom.
We like that.
And then if you go down the escalator, you're in the casino, if you want to know. So.
All right, keeping on trend. How much is a room going to cost us?
Oh, man, it is a killer deal, $169 a night. Good luck finding that. If you go to fountainblue.com right now and try to book a hotel room, I'm pretty sure they're $350 to $500 a night. So $169 a night.
Wow. And what about seating? What can I expect? Are there going to be room rushes again?
It's going to be a little different. So all tickets are purchased through Ticketmaster. You actually select the seat you're going to sit in for the entirety of the event. The theater has 3 different levels, and the pricing's based on which level you sit on. So you're going to have assigned seating.
How many days?
2.5 days. September 21st, we have a half day, 22nd, 23rd, all full days. You guys are going to get, it's going to be like drinking through a fire hose, but it's going to be incredible.
Bingo. And for the right people that want to be in the right room with others like that, where can they go to find out more?
Oh, you go to funnelhackinglive.com/CFR, or if you go to Funnel Hacking Live, there's a bunch of FAQs down at the bottom. So yeah.
Amazing. Smashed it, Myles.
Love it, Myles. You are absolutely the man. Keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to see you in September. And I know we've got a couple events before that too. Hopefully see you there. But you're awesome, man. Thanks for being a great guest on ClickFunnels Radio. And we will see you guys all on the next.